Hello ladies and gentlemen, this video will be about Jupiter. Tomorrow, 6th of February, Jupiter is turning direct. He was retrograde for approximately 4 months. Now in this video I will tell you how I see this change from retrograde to direct, how we will as collective experience his blessing. In this video I will not make analysis of the 12 ascendants because makes not so much sense, but I will try to give you a good overview of how you can benefit from these energies of Jupiter. In my two previous videos I described the motion, the direct motion of Uranus, also the change in the course of Venus, and from there you will see a little bit how the upcoming energies will unfold for us for the 12 ascendants. Now, very briefly to remind you, who is Jupiter? He is benevolent, he is a good planet, he rules the signs Sagittarius and Pisces. He is exalted in Cancer. Jupiter is always benevolent. He is about the blessing, the abundance. He is the main significator of children. He is the gains. He is the enthusiastic energy that we experience sometimes. He is the highest philosophies. He is lofty ideals. Jupiter is healer. Now, why I say healing? First, because he rules the 12th house of the zodiac, which is so much related to health, but secondly because in the ancient Babylonian astrology, Marduk, Jupiter, is the son of Enki, and he is the magician. Enki is the sign of Aquarius. Later on in the Greek mythology, Jupiter is Zeus. So the energies, of course, from century to century would vary a little bit, but in general he has positive energies. I know the stories about Marduk and Enki, which are associated with negativity. I don't deny none of this, but I know also that we create our reality, and I know that if you keep a thought for longer than 17 seconds in your mind, and especially if you do this repetitively, you certainly can create reality. You can also create like true persons, divinities. You can create spirits. So this is why I would rather stick to the positive blessing energy of Jupiter as Marduk, and also as Zeus, and also as Jupiter. Now he of course has his role in saving the humanity in the epic of creation, so I certainly believe he is good. Now he also rules the 9th house of the zodiac, which is the house of, this is the house of philosophies, lofty ideals, knowledge, studies. So certainly he has benevolent nature. He knows magic, he knows health, and he can be very benevolent when it comes to giving the children. So Jupiter, now as we speak, is in Taurus, and he is turning direct. And I will see a little bit to tell you in which degree he is turning direct. And this is the degree 17 degrees of the sidereal zodiac, only 2 degrees away from the royal star Aldebaran, which is the star in the eye of the bull. Now with the fixed stars, the situation is a little bit interesting, and 2 degrees distance from royal star is nothing. Jupiter will still be influenced and will exchange energies with Aldebaran. I say this because Aldebaran is very bright star, has very high magnitude, and therefore the orb, like some like to say, of the influence exchange of energy is there. And so Jupiter is turning direct in Aldebaran. What is he doing in Taurus? In Taurus, Jupiter is peregrine. It means he is not really a detriment, fallen, but neither he is exalted or highly dignified. So he is not very powerful in Taurus. But here comes the detail. At the moment when Jupiter is turning direct in Taurus, and he will stay in Taurus up until almost end of April, at the moment when he's turning direct, at the same moment, Venus is in sidereal Pisces exalted. So this way, the two planets are forming harmonious sextile, which is very good. And secondly, they are in what is called mutual reception. It means Jupiter is in the house of Venus and Venus is in the house of Jupiter. So the two planets are forming mutual reception, which is good reception between the two planets. It's a friendly aspect, which is very positive. Why? Because Jupiter in Taurus in Aldebaran is a star in the eye of the bull, like I said, with the nature of Venus and Mars, and this star is a star of power and money. And when also Venus is in Pisces exalted and in harmonious aspect with Jupiter, this will certainly be more benevolent and blessing for the finances. Of course, here there is additional detail here, which is that Saturn is forming this harmonious aspect to Jupiter. So Saturn and Jupiter are in a square aspect. How I see this in general for us. Now, the fact that the benevolent nature of Jupiter from retrograde is turning direct, which means we will feel it as a little bit faster, more positive. This particular change of the motion of Jupiter will not change so much the course of events which take place. They will be changed due to other matters, which I explained in my two previous videos. But when Jupiter turns direct, the energy will be more positive, and more enthusiastic and more lofty. The level of positivity, enthusiasm will grow, which is actually very important, and this can even have positive influence on the markets, the economy a little bit, and I will say not really much because Saturn is squaring, but because the economy and the markets are very much under the influence of people's emotions, because we buy emotionally, we participate in the markets emotionally. So there will be a slight, not big impact. Why I say slight? Because at the same moment the square of Saturn is also there. And the square of Saturn is showing that the markets are being manipulated, influenced by governmental decisions. So, but there might be slight positivity and growth for some businesses, especially for people who have, very powerful placement of Taurus ascendant, Taurus midheaven, Taurus descendant, moon in Taurus. So these people will experience the positivity of Jupiter, the enthusiasm to create, to experience beauty, to what else to do, to study, to experience life, so this is energy of lofty, the uplift of the ideals, of the moods, if you want. This is a very good mood. I remember when Jupiter made conjunction with my moon, he was in my moon sign 1 year, of course, because he stays in one sign approximately 1 year. I remember I was positive simply for everything, even when there was no really reason to be uplifted or positive. I was wondering what is happening with me. Why am I always during this year always happy, always positive? It's a little bit crazy. So Jupiter on the moons of people, if in Taurus, on their ascendants, this will be more positive, more joyful, more optimistic, more enthusiastic, and this way this will help them to achieve more what they want, their goals, to go for their ideas, and to go for to follow their dreams, their desires, purposes. So in this sense, yes, he can change, impact the events, but other than that, like I'm telling you, not so much, because he still is under the very how to call this, maybe very selective, very limiting eye of Saturn, because Saturn is very powerful in Aquarius, and while Jupiter will turn direct to advance his motion in Taurus, Saturn will square him. But when Jupiter and Venus have this beautiful friendship now, when they exchanged energies, like Venus in Pisces exalted and Jupiter in Taurus, this way some positive things may happen, like I tell you, for some businesses. This can also be, you see, from quite some time in my videos I've been mentioning how the fact that on 18th of June of last year, 2024, how the fact that Uranus entered Taurus will influence the cattle of people, the farms, and you saw that the low vibration of Uranus affected badly the farmers, the small farmers, and not only the small farmers, and this you see all over the world. And now this Jupiter is having very good role there, somehow, to protect these people, to protect the animals. And because you see, Taurus, where Jupiter is now, is our second house of the collective. This is our food. This is not only our money and business, and this is our food. These are the Tauruses. This is the bull. These are the cattle. This is the food industry of any country. And when Uranus entered, I was very worried, but I told you this last year. I was very worried, especially when there was also a square from Saturn. I was worried that they will first try to destroy the farmers and their animals, and this is what happened. But now Jupiter there has his protective role enhanced by Venus, and somehow Saturn has his difficult role, but Venus and Jupiter are helpful. Later on, when in the beginning of April, when Uranus will enter Taurus again, we may have the same problems again, with the farmers, their animals. So this will be, and I don't mean only farmers like the big cattle. I mean the food industry. These are also the all farms, chicken, everything. So I don't know why I'm speaking about this now, but it has to do with Jupiter and his blessing, for the collective. This concerns all of us very much, more than we can imagine, because who controls the seeds and the food controls everyone. So anyway, this was a little bit about Jupiter, and like I tell you, you will not see big change in the course of events, but you will feel more positive, more even courageous, more enthusiastic. Especially this will be good for people, I repeat, who have sidereal ascendant Taurus, moon in Taurus, or on midheaven Taurus. So this is how this will feel. I already feel it somehow. Because Jupiter is, stationing, and tomorrow he turns direct, but we can feel already his positive energy. So up until the spring he will be in Taurus. Later he enters sidereal Gemini. Well, in Gemini, as you know, he's fallen, not so powerful, but we'll see. We'll be speaking about this a little bit later. So this was my video on Jupiter. I hope you really enjoy his positive energies. You feel more enthusiastic, maybe to study, to enjoy, to beauty, because Taurus is a sign of the food, of beauty, art. He can give muse also to many people to create. So this is good news, ladies and gentlemen. Supported by the good news of, that I mentioned about in my previous video about Venus in Pisces exalted. So these two exchange energies, and this is very good. When you know that Saturn is squaring and he has his limiting row, this is his row, the remedy is to be more disciplined. When you want to have better results in your businesses, a little bit more disciplined, more time oriented, and connecting with God. And I will tell you something also about Saturn, which I learned. This is one of those things that we know, but we need to see somewhere well put, well formulated. And when I was reading again the Master Bin Sedunu in some of his lectures from early 19th century, he said Saturn is the awakening. You cannot have awakening without Saturn. He is behind the awakening. So I will remind to you, in 2000, it was 21st of December of 2021, Jupiter Saturn great conjunction and a great awakening. You know, we were awakening already, but this was like a big step forward. So this is Saturn. Then Saturn is another thing. When we connect with the Creator, Saturn is less afflicting, really. Saying this prayers, a connection with the Creator would be very, very helpful with this particular Saturn-Jupiter square. So working with Saturn is always a good thing. So saying this to announce on 8th and 10th of February, this is the last time when I will be consecrating. I will announce this in my next video. This will be the last time when I will be consecrating and creating Saturn talismans, because later he becomes invisible and 1 month after he leaves Aquarius. So, and then after 30 years or so. So now I'm trying to make to create many pieces of jewelry to have at least for a couple of years ahead, because there will not be another chance in the next many years. So Saturn talisman it's one of the most important talisman for people who want to work with these energies. And this is the most difficult planet in the horoscopes, and working with him is important for the Saturn in transits influencing our horoscope, for the just to work out our karma. So Venus talisman is a beautiful thing and always good and always brings you joy, but the Saturn talisman is very much needed if you want to work with this energy, if you want to try to be disciplined, if you want to have easier influences of Saturn in your horoscope. So if you want, you can already take a look at my Saturn talismans on my website, which is listed under this video. I'm uploading now some more new models. So thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen, and see you with my next video, where I will describe another very important event. On 18th of February, Saturn becomes invisible, and he will be invisible until 30th of April, and this is already an event. All the best. Bye bye.